So what is floating exactly? Well, in our walkthrough video, we might have taken you through the center, showing you what the float tanks are and how much salt is in them. But in this video, we're going to talk exactly about how floating works and what it does exactly to us. So floating is essentially the practice of lying on your back on top of the saltwater solution with your body half in and half out of the water and floating effortlessly on the water surface. Now the water is heated to skin neutral temperature. That's around 34.5 Celsius or 94.5 Fahrenheit. Although there's a light inside, you can also turn that off, and the rooms are designed to be as soundproof as possible. So essentially, we are taking away the stimulus of light, sound, and touch as much as possible. Now there's also 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt in each of our float tanks, and that is what helps keep you buoyant on top of the water surface. And because of that, you are not using any energy, you are not using any of your muscles or your joints to keep you in that position. So essentially, you don't have to use any effort whatsoever to stay afloat. And lastly, there is a door that opens and closes anytime, so you are always in control of your environment, which means you are never locked in there, you're never trapped in there, you can always get out anytime you need to. Now, along with the door, again, we give you options to plug in your phone if you want to play your own music or meditation track. The light can also be left on if you want, but the main idea is to take away all those things so that there is no stimulus whatsoever. So no light, no sound, no sense of touch. And when you take all of these things away, that's when we get into a much deeper state of relaxation. Floating is really all about doing the maximum amount of nothingness. So if you think about your everyday life, even if you are not doing anything, chances are you're still taking in light through your eyes, you're still hearing noises like cars or dogs barking, and you might still be feeling the clothes on your body or the chair that you're sitting in. And although you might not be consciously thinking about it, these are unconsciously being processed by your brain and your nervous system, and it's using up energy and focus. So why does all of that matter? Well, there's this idea called homeostasis, which is basically a fancy word for keeping our body in balance. When it's hot outside, you're gonna start sweating. When it's cold outside, you start shivering. And that is your body trying to bring you back up or down to a zero neutral point. Again, that's using up energy, that's using up resources in your body to do those things. Therefore, when you're floating and there's no stimulus whatsoever for your body to react to, it's not using any energy, it's not using any resources, and your nervous system and your body in general is going to have a much deeper state of recovery and relaxation than it normally could have in your everyday life. Now, you might be asking, how long do I need to float for? How many times do I need to float for? And how often should I float before I start seeing some of these benefits of deep recovery and relaxation? Well, the truth is, it's different for everybody. It's kind of like saying, how often do I need to eat healthy? How often do I need to exercise to start seeing benefits? Now, although you can also get out anytime you need to, the standard sessions we have here are 90 minutes long. And we even have certain time slots that let you float up to 2 hours long. Some people float once a week, once every couple weeks, once a month, or maybe they only float whenever they start to feel like their body craves it, whether that's a lot of stress they're in or a lot of pain that they're feeling. There's a lot of different reasons why people float, and so it's important that you discover for yourself how often you need to float. Now remember, floating is a practice. It's something that as you keep doing it, you get better at it. And so the skill of relaxing, the skill of bringing out our parasympathetic response, which is a state of recovery, that is something that gets better with as you keep practicing floating. So your first float is going to look different from your second float, from your third float, and so on. So don't judge your float experience just based off of your first float. And you also might be asking, well, who is floating for? That's kind of like asking who is exercise for, who is food for, right? Exercise has a lot of different benefits to it, and people do it for all sorts of different reasons. Whether that's to look better, whether that's to lose weight, whether that's to help prevent injury. Same thing with floating. There's a lot of different people from all walks of life, whether that's athletes, entrepreneurs, creative people. Many people come in to help relieve stress, help manage pain, help improve their sleep, or improve their focus and mental clarity. There's a lot of different reasons why people float, and it's important that you discover for yourself why floating works for you. So if you're still watching this video, clearly there's something about floating that's curious to you. And although you might not know exactly yet why you want to float, I encourage you to lean into that curiosity, come in and find out. Because a lot of times people come in with a certain intention, a certain expectation of what they want to get out of floating. And afterwards, when they come out, they find that there's so many other reasons why they want to keep coming back. So you can find us at GoFloatStudios.com. Our address is 390 Pearl Street, Unit A, and you can find our entrance on Pine Street in downtown Burlington, Ontario. And give us a call, send us an email. If you have any questions at all, or there's something we haven't answered here, or you'd like to know more about, feel free to reach out anytime and we'll help you book a float or answer any questions you have. So with that said, that's it for the video, and hope to see you in soon for a float.